Morning, friends. So what I've been thinking about this morning, and just through conversation and even through the peacemaking fellowship that I'm now a part of. I'm a peace fellow. It's a cool thing to be. That just kind of hit me. If you want to know more about that, send me a message here on Missing Pieces Facebook page or my own. But something I've been thinking about is, we throw this word peace around quite a bit, but as far as knowing the how of it, I think is a whole other step. So feel free to go back and watch videos, because there's a lot of how, but not explicit maybe. And if you can't find old videos here on Facebook, check out the YouTube Missing Peace community page. But we're going to be talking a lot about peace in the coming weeks, because I think it's important. I'm seeing a lot of anxiety, angst, frustration, anger, and these are not the things that make for peace. So I think we're going to have to do some real thoughtful, engaging, hopeful learning about peace. If you're local and you want to go to a yoga class or come to the one I lead at Platinum Fitness, please check it out. I think that can be a useful tool. But basically, if we want to be people of peace in the world, we've got to be crafting the peace within ourselves. It's kind of step one. To even make the potential connection point for peace outside of us, we're going to have to be crafting the peace inside of us. If you consider yourself a Christian person, please go read the Sermon on the Mount. See what Jesus says about peace, about kingdom, about what that looks like. And when you hear kingdom, like heaven, I hope that you don't just think of it as a place that you get to when you die if you're a good boy or a good girl, but is something that we can actively participate and be nurturing of here in this life. Jesus talks about it being in us and among us. Matthew 25 is a great place also to go. If you're a person who studies scripture, check out those places. If you're not, but you still consider yourself somebody who hopes to work towards peace within themselves and in the world, I encourage you to look at 12-step programs. I think they do a lovely job, especially like Al-Anon. But mostly it's about, how do you make that soft space within yourself? How are you feeding and nurturing goodness and wholeness within yourself? I recently watched a video by a neuroscientist named Jill Taylor. I encourage you to check it out. She talks about the right brain and the left brain. It's a TED Talk, very interesting. But one of the things that just occurred to me is, it's like this right brain is our place of art and creativity and peacefulness and nurture. That left brain, it's our logic, our math, our words. We get a lot of teaching about that left brain. We don't get a lot of teaching intentionally about that right brain, especially after, like elementary school. So we've got to find some ways to nurture that if we want to be people of peace. Things like art, music, dance, meditation, those things that elicit that feeling of comfort and joy, of spiritual connection, of beauty. I think we underestimate this. A lot of us think we don't have time for self-care. There's too much else that's more important. But as we watch our world move toward division, we have to find ways for connection. And it has to be mind and in our words and in our hearts. Maybe the easiest one to start with is your words. How much us and them is coming out of my mouth, your mouth? How much division is coming out of our mouths on social media, in our day-to-day conversations? And listen, we all need safe places to vent. We do. So that's fine. Find your one or two. Find your therapist. Beyond that, how can you use your mouth as an instrument of peace? Saying words of gentleness and comfort. And your mind as well. If you can get your mouth right, maybe you can get your mind right. Use that mind, use your thoughts, turn them towards peace. And maybe your heart can follow. I hope. I hope. But none of it can happen without the fuel and the nurture. It's a conversation I've had multiple times this week is how are you going to fuel your sanity? How are you going to fuel your peace? It does not get fueled by your busyness and your productivity. It does not get fueled by your capability, by your quick wit, by your ability to put people in their place, to convince or coerce. These are not the things that are going to fuel your peace, your sanity, your hopefulness, your gentleness. So you've got to find the things that do, whether it's meditation or yoga practice or coloring or breathing or get up early and watch the sunrise or take a walk or whatever it is. Please, please, please find the fuel that gives you that sense of peacefulness. You cannot share it if you do not have it. Take a breath. Find some beauty today. Not just as some sort of silly extra act, but as fuel. Essential fuel. Just like you need protein to build your muscle, you need some goodness, some peace, some serenity to fuel your heart and mind towards those. So we're going to be talking a lot about peace in the next few weeks, about how we fuel it, how we be a part of it. I hope that you'll come along. And if you want to come on Sundays at First Pres in Daytona Beach, Beach Street Church, if you've seen the new logo, I hope you'll come there too. Be part of a community that's actively working towards being people of peace despite our differences. It's actively working towards, stumbling towards loving each other well in all of our imperfection and all of our difference. I think that's enough today, friends. Find some ways to fuel your peace today. Look for them. Be them. Find your peace today. Find what nurtures you, what makes you feel loved and feel like love. That you might spread that instead of just our judgments and our frustrations. Grace and peace, friends.